I also low key like hate you. I don't fuck with you at all. And you're a woman, so like you're super like I can easily overpower you. And you're probably gonna be like an easy target. So it's like, all right, David Darko. Today we're gonna be doing the Squid Game tier list. We got 4 criterias, and I'm motherfucker. There we go. Anyways, we got 4 criteria that we're going to be loosely following. Criteria number 1, how well written the character is. Criteria number 2, how much do they contribute to the story. Criteria number 3, do they get you to feel something. And criteria number 4, how much I like them personally. Anyways, so first off, we got the North Korean Squid Game soldier girl. I'm going to go ahead and put her in... Oh, shit. You know, I'm probably going to have to go probably high C tier for now. I mean, obviously she does stuff. She's shown to be struggling, and she gets recruited by that guy, the other frontman 8 years ago. She cares a lot about the dad who just wants to help his daughter because she has some kind of rare form of cancer. She keeps him alive at the end of the season. She saves some player. Oh, okay, I guess we can put her in B tier. She technically saves players by, you know, shooting them in the heart and shooting them in the head so that they don't get their organs harvested whenever they're alive, and especially the female contestants that are killed. I don't remember her killing any female contestants, but thoroughly killing them, make sure that they don't get raped, at least not while they're alive. So I'd have to give her a B tier, just because of how much she technically contributes to the story. Old guy, I'm probably gonna have to put this guy in. Oh, she didn't make me feel anything. Actually, yeah, I might put her back in C tier. We'll do low B tier for now. Old guy, I have to say that he contributes a lot to the story in terms of his motivated reasoning. He's one of the biggest pushers. Let me just put him here. He's one of the biggest pushers for having the games continue. I don't know how much debt he's in. I think it's like 6 or 10 billion won. It's something crazy like that. But he has a fuck ton of debt, probably the most debt out of anybody who's at the games in the, you know, season 2 Squid Games. So I definitely have to he's super annoying. Every time he was on screen, every time he was debating with Gi-hun, telling us that oh well, this guy's a fraud, or this guy doesn't know what he's talking about, or this guy's crazy, even though he knew exactly how red light green light, you know, would have happened. And him blaming Gi-hun for not being able to guess the second game, even though he got the first one right, saying that, you know, he's a fraud, he's crazy, blah, blah, blah. His points were really fucking stupid, and obviously they were incredibly irritating to the viewer, but I think that that's kind of how it's supposed to be, and it kind of shows us that a lot of the people that are in these games are some of the worst general decision makers. And it's the kind of reasoning, the kind of motivated reasoning that characters like this uses that kind of like it tells you why they ended up in the games. Obviously everybody got unlucky to a certain extent, but some people were destined for the Squid Games, and I think that's kind of what his character shows us. So I'll have to put him in probably mid B tier. Her, I'd have to put her probably lower. She was the girl who was she was super scared. She voted X every single round because she wanted to go home. Now I would put her higher, but the entirety of her character was kind of like fear, and we already have a pretty good fear character that's gonna come up here in a second. So I don't know, me personally, I just didn't really feel much for her character. Obviously it's tragic that she died, and you know, she wanted to get out at literally every single point, but she just couldn't, and then she got cucked by the person in the mingle game. She was shoved down, and then MG Coin player 333 gets in there and technically saves everybody, and you know, she dies, and it's just unfortunate. All that can happen is the Rainbow Six Siege operator player 120, she just watches her die, and that sucks cock. But I'll have to put her probably low B tier, because I mean, she's literally just scared, and that's pretty much it for me. This guy, the dude who helped in Gi-hun's rebellion, I'll have to put him probably C tier. I think it's pretty cool that he was brave enough to help in that rebellion, and he also had that I think he also helped with the fight in the bathroom. That was cool. And he had the one scene where he was gonna massacre the circles. Honestly, low key, if he did, and obviously it's a counterfactual, and if he does it, that would probably change how the rebellion actually went down. They'd probably have less ammo, and that would complicate things, etc., etc. But if he did kill all of those circle people, they might have actually been able to get out of the games. But then again, they killed some guards, and they would have probably been made an example out of her. Some crazy shit like that. Anyways, I think it's pretty stupid how he wanted to do Gi-hun's plan instead of, he's obviously willing to kill the circles, but he chooses not to do this plan to overthrow these people that have, they literally have 45.6 billion won just disposable like that. They have a ton of guards with MP5s and pistols, and they have cameras, and the place is incredible. It's literally a modern art masterpiece, this facility. They were able to drug you. They put fucking shit in your neck. I don't know why this guy would join Gi-hun's rebellion. It was pretty fucking stupid, but I'll just leave him at C tier. B girl, the girl who died first, I'll have to put her probably low C tier. She doesn't contribute anything to the story. You think that she might, because she's kind of shown a lot at the beginning, and she looks like, obviously she's pretty, but every character with yellowish, blondish dyed hair always dies first in these games. So she broke that rule, and she got killed by the bee. Other than that, there's nothing really too notable about her character. She just kind of shows up. She looks cute. Thanos flirts with her, and then she dies. And then whenever Thanos notices that she dies, he pops his pills and turns into a villain. So I guess she's kind of the impetus of that. But other than that, she doesn't really contribute much. I don't feel much for this character. This guy, I'm just going to put him in D tier. I feel like he's definitely the coolest of the unnamed mercenaries. Just because he looks cool, he looks like he's special forces. He's like a Korean Giga Chad, but other than that, I don't know anything about this guy. I don't care about him. D tier. I don't even have anything to say about this character. I mean, obviously she's the oh, excuse me. It's either the guy's daughter or the little girl that sees the cuts on the defector's wrists, but I'm just gonna assume it's the daughter. We don't know anything about her. She's just young, and she has a super unfortunate situation. That really sucks cock, but she doesn't really, her plot relevance is just a motivation for 246 to be in the game. So D tier. I don't really know anything about her. This next character, Min-soo, the man, the myth, the legend himself. I'm actually gonna put Min-soo in probably mid to high A tier because his character is so consistent. He's never showing himself to be something that he's not. He's physically smaller. His voice is kind of quiet. He seems like a little bit naive. He has pussy aura, not pussy attraction aura, but you are, a pussy. Coupled with the people that are in this game, a lot of them are super ruthless, super selfish, super bullying, willing to take advantage of other people to get ahead. This is this character, his archetype, it's his worst nightmare. But he goes through it. He survives up until the end of season 2, which can't be said for a lot of other characters, and his pussiness actually carries him. Now, a lot of people give him hate because he betrayed where is she? Yeah, this girl. He betrays, I'll do her next actually. He betrays Say Me, I think that's her name, player 380. But it's not really, I don't really see that as betrayal. If anything, he's almost like a more honest Ali, or Ali, whatever his name is, but without the I don't know how to explain it, but 380 essentially says, oh, the reason why I chose you to be on my team is because I know that you wouldn't trick me. I know you wouldn't manipulate me. She's basically saying, oh, I know that you're easy to be taken advantage of, and I can trust that you won't betray me. So in these games where, you know, a lot of it is based on deception and betrayal and being cunning, this girl would have 1,000,000% betrayed what's his name, Min-soo, if she got the chance. Obviously, you know, she was like on his team or whatever, but whenever the shit hit the fan, I would not be surprised if she you know, wanted to do something different. The only reason, or one of the main reasons why she wanted to split from Thanos and, you know, his little Nam-gyu crew is because they were tweaking. She hated Nam-gyu. They were super unreliable. They kicked whatever the fuck his name is, the dude with the name that started with a G. He physically kicked him. And, you know, she's like, okay, these guys are fucking crazy. I'm not going to side with them. But Min-soo, he held his ground. He was like, fuck you. Okay, I'm going to choose guaranteed survival. He felt super bad about it, but he was just preserving himself. He looks at, this is the funniest scene. After that round, he looks at Se-mi, and she looks at him, and then she looks away. She's like, how could you do that? But like, it's like you were going to betray him eventually. You literally chose him to betray him. And you got betrayed first, so it's kind of like it's kind of like karmic justice. That's the way that I see it. Oh, and then there is the scene where he could have helped her, and he was like the O's were attacking the X's, and he was chilling at the top of the bunk bed, and he sees that Se-mi is getting pulled up on by Nam-gyu, who we're gonna do after we do Se-mi. She's getting pulled up on, and he has a little bottle, and he tries to help, but he just kind of he drops it, and he completely misses, and Nam-gyu's like, what the fuck? But she uses that as an opportunity to get ahead in the fight, and obviously it doesn't end, you know, in her favor, and Min-soo doesn't jump down and try to save her. But I mean, I think it's decently reasonable. Nam-gyu is not only bigger than Min-soo, but he's also completely tweaked out of his mind, and he has a general distaste for Min-soo as well. So like, they probably could have 2v1'd him, but then if you jump down and there are other people down there, like other O's that are trying to kill people, then you have to deal with those people, and it's like, it's literally flashing, you know, darkness to light. You have no fucking clue what's going on. You're probably not used to seeing people around you die. You've only known this girl for like 3 days. Yeah, he was a pussy, and watching that scene was super hard. Watching that scene made me super mad at Min-soo, but at the same time, I would probably do something similar, and there are a lot of people that would probably do the same thing. Especially because this girl chose him just because he was a pussy, and he's easy to manipulate. I think that he kind of subverts our expectations by being authentically himself, and I almost want to put Min-soo in S tier, but he just doesn't do enough. He's just kind of like, he's put in situations and he acts in the way that he would act. He doesn't do anything like hyper strategic. It's just kind of like oh, okay, well, most people, if you're in the situation, this is how you would act. So A tier. This girl's name, fuck, Se-mi 380. I probably want to put her in I'll probably put her just, it feels illegal having the old guy, so let me rearrange this. Because these three kind of don't do much except for, you know, the one thing that they do. She's literally just like, she's like B girl, but like alt. She's kind of like Side B or whatever her name is. The player 67 from season 1. She's kind of like her, but like, you know, not as like street savvy. She stands up for herself, and she's like super confident. She's a little bit cunning. She lies about her age to, you know, appear more older than the other people in Thanos's crew. But other than that, I think that her strongest character point is her relation to Min-soo. And like I said, when I was talking about Min-soo, she literally chooses him just because he's a pussy. And then she's surprised that whenever his life is placed on the line, she's surprised that he behaves like a pussy. Like, no, why would I why would I take your hand and venture out into the unknown, potentially fucking die in this crazy death game when I could just take a guaranteed chance of surviving and be good? It doesn't really make sense. Like she obviously just wants somebody that she can control, and I feel like, unlike doing what Sang-woo did, which he like systematically gained Ali's trust throughout the season. He gave him the money for the bus fare, although I don't think that was like he wasn't thinking that far ahead, but he gave him money for the bus fare. He was pretty nice to him in general, just giving him his food. He got that super sick strategy for them in tug of war to win. He told Ali that he didn't have to call him like Hyung or whatever he's calling. Not Hyung. It was like Mr. or some shit. He told him that he can call him Hyung, the big brother or whatever. He was just super fucking polite to him, and did like meaningful things to gain his trust, and did treat him like he was, I don't want to say an equal, but like not terribly less than. And that's what made the betrayal like so, like not only heartbreaking, but like it made it like an efficacious betrayal. Like Sang-woo worked to have his person to betray. She kind of just like took shortcuts and kind of expected this guy to just adhere, I guess simp for her, like a lot of the the people who watched this season did, just kind of simp for her, and I don't know, be her her personal pussy, or I guess her second personal pussy. But nah, Min-soo wasn't having it. He's his own kind of pussy. But yeah, she's she looks cool. She is cool, but like the whole Min-soo thing, I think it's funny that she somehow thought that was going to work out in her favor. That was a really bad read in my opinion. Next guy, this one is super easy for me. Nam-gyu, mid to high A tier. This one is easy because Nam-gyu, unlike Thanos is I guess we'll get to Thanos, we'll put this next, but Nam-gyu, I'll do Thanos first. Okay, Thanos, he's also kind of a nothing character. He just kind of has more going for him. Like all four of these characters, they like do stuff to, well, no, they don't really do a ton to further the plot. But the more that they're over here, the more that they do to further the plot. Like she's just kind of like, oh, I'm scared. She's like, oh, I'm cute. This guy's like, we got to continue the games. And then Thanos, he's kind of like your he's like a rabid dog, your loose cannon, your Jesse Pinkman kind of. Well, actually, pretty much, yeah. The first game, B-Girl gets eliminated and he starts tweaking out. He's super fucking scared, and he decides to take his pills or whatever the fuck he has. And then he locks in. He starts to become incredibly facetious. He pushes people. He's obviously gonna be like your Duck-soo, your bad guy. He bullies MG Coin. What else does he do? He's just kind of like super eccentric, super tweaky. He's always voting for the next game. Before he was in the Squid Games, he was gonna jump off a bridge and Minecraft himself, but he got the card, and he sees this as a second chance to I guess make his mom and dad proud, or whatever he said whenever he was in the bathroom. He what's the word I'm looking for? He consolidates a small group of I don't want to say sycophants, because they like, you find out that nobody really fucks with him. They just kind of fuck with his ability to bring people together. And you can see that respect commanded in the Mingle game, how everybody kind of looks to him for him to decide who's going to be in the group and who's going to be left out. I mean, he's also able to so like easily and efficiently do so while he's completely drugged up. He's like, okay, well, just do rock, paper, scissors, or eeny, meeny, miny, mo, boom, you're out. Like he's super fast to find these arbitrary ways to narrow down the people that get to stay and the people that get kicked. Also, one thing that was pretty notable about his character that I liked personally is that he was able to deduce their maybe he's like a similar age. I know Top, the actor that plays him, is like 36, but he's probably supposed to play a dude who's like 24 or something, 24, 26, 29. But he's able to deduce that based on the years that Nam-gyu, Min-soo, and Se-mi tell him, he's able to deduce their ages like pretty quick off the top of his head. Again, it could be because he's the same age, but I like to think that it was mental math while he's tweaked out, which is super impressive. He did some more impressive things, but obviously whenever he's in the bathroom, he gets fucking he instigates the fight with MG Coin, saying like, oh yeah, I'm basically gonna fuck your bitch and be the father of your kid. He's showing the fuck out of MG Coin. But he doesn't throw the first punch. He actually dodges the first punch, and he lands a really good punch on MG Coin, and he would have definitely won that fight had Thanos known that there were forks in the food, which I'm kind of surprised that he didn't know, or maybe he didn't consider it because he was completely drugged out of his mind. Either way, he kind of gets unlucky there. Takes the fork to the neck and gets taken out. But overall, he's really decent for the plot development. Got himself some good kills. Not quite as good as Duck-soo, but I definitely enjoyed seeing him on screen, especially in the Mingle game. That shit was hilarious. Okay, now the next guy, Nam-gyu, his little sidekick. I think that Nam-gyu is a lot more ruthless and a lot more. He's like Thanos, but with a little more strategy. And I want to say maliciousness as well. He obviously he has some kind of ego problem, and I get why, because the people around him low-key disrespect him, and he can't command respect as easily or bring people together as easily as Thanos, and that probably makes him feel inferior. But throughout the story, he acts as Thanos' number one, his super sexy sycophant. I don't think he's sexy. I just said it because of the alliteration, but he acts as Thanos' sycophant to get his drugs, which is funny because he used to supply Thanos with drugs, or at least that's implied. That's what he used to do outside of the games. So they know each other, and he sucks up to Thanos to get the drugs because he's super nervous in the six-legged race game. He gets the drugs, and then whenever he gets them, he starts to act all calm. He starts to act like he's superior to Min-soo, trying to get him to calm down, trying to get him to lock in when he needed drugs to lock in. So it's like those fitness Jesus Christ, influencers who they're like jacked up on tren and every kind of anabolic steroid that there is, but then they just tell you to like work super hard, and it's like they are super hard workers, they are super consistent, they are decently intelligent, they should be looked up to in that regard, but like the steroids is a super important part to the the equation. He just kind of omits that, and Se-mi, she rightfully calls him out on that. She's like, yo, you're a pussy too, and I guess he just didn't like being compared to Min-soo, rightfully so. I wouldn't want to be compared to Min-soo either, and that kind of rubbed him the wrong way. But anyways, he's able to lock in. He I forget, I think his debt was like 300 million won, something like that. So he would have had enough money to pay off his debts by the end of the third game, but he would only have like 48,000 won left, and that wouldn't really be a ton. So I guess he wanted to play one more game to live super comfortably outside of the games. So I get why he votes circle, but I think that I don't know. I just think that a guy like Nam-gyu is like, he is lucky in the sense that he knows Thanos and it's super easy for him to get in and get the drugs, but he plays his cards super well. He's actually he notices that player 333 and 222 kind of have something together, and that player 222 is pregnant. The only other person that was able to parse that was the old lady, Young-sik's mother. So he has a really good eye. He's super observant. That too, yeah, he notices that Thanos is taking drugs in the first place. That's super observant. He lets Thanos know about their relationship. That causes the fight. During the fight, by the way, he's able to not only steal Thanos's drugs, But he's also able to grab a fork, and I think he kills a guy to stay alive. So he's very resourceful. He was one of the guys that was spearheading the killing off the weaker players, the X's, which the weaker players would generally be. He kind of spearheaded that, and he was able to take out what's her name, Sei-mi, who, I mean, I don't think, obviously it was malicious, but I think it was more like opportunistic. Like, okay, not only are you voting X, which means that if I kill you, I get more money, and I can play a game, which, the games are suited for people like Nam-gyu. I can play a game and then I could get out and I'll be good. But I also low-key, like, hate you. I don't fuck with you at all. And you're a woman, so, like, you're super, like, I can easily overpower you. You're probably gonna be, like, an easy target. So it's like, he would probably want her to die. Like, he'd like to see her die. He wouldn't go out of his way to kill her. But serendipitously, he just kind of, like, finds the perfect confluence of factors that allow him to act out some kind of, I don't know. I feel like he just kind of, like, the stars align. He's like, all right, bet, let's kill this bitch. He would have killed her. Like, he wouldn't go out of his way to kill her, but since things were perfect, he killed her. And I think that's pretty strategic. What else? I don't know. He's probably gonna be like a super good antagonist in season 3, and I can't wait to see what they do with this character. I know a lot of people don't fuck with him. I didn't fuck with him either, but like the more time that I had for his character to marinate, him and Min-soo, they became that too. Him and Min-soo, they're gonna be really interesting adversaries in the 3rd season. It'd actually be so funny if this dude was able to outlive Thanos, Sei-mi, the dude who got kicked in the Mingle game, and Min-soo. It'd be hilarious if this guy won the games. I feel like he's low-key perfect for that, but we'll just have to see. Anyways, our next character, Gi-hun. Obviously he has to go on the S tier because we saw him, the first season. He's played these games before. He super likable, but like this guy, he's like a complete loser. He starts the games off by he starts the series off by stealing his mom's credit card to go gamble so that he can buy his daughter like a gift, and he didn't even know that it was her birthday. And so he does that. He loses all the money, but then he wins, but then he loses it all again because it fucking, the player 67 steals it from him. He even if that didn't happen, he's like in huge debt. He has loan sharks literally watching him gamble. So he's probably like, this dude, he's just like a like, I don't know what the word is, but it's like gooners for gamblers. Like, he's super addicted to gambling. And he was not supposed to win the first games. He wasn't supposed to. Literally every single game he was supposed to die. He was supposed to die in red light, green light, but Ali picked him up. He was supposed to die in the umbrella game, but that was his strategy, but he lucked out. He sweated on it, and then he was able to, pick it apart. He was supposed to die in tug of war. He was tasked with consolidating a team of people that were strong for the game, because that was a rumor. We have to go find strong people, and he brings the old man. He brings small skinny women, although player 67, she's super dope. That is not the player you want on your team for tug of war, where you can go against a team like Duck-soo with they're literally all like super fucking strong sadistic men. You don't want to. But yeah, he consolidates literally the worst fucking team, and he's only saved via the strategy of the old man and Sang-woo's quick thinking. And then in the next game, he chooses the old man again, which if it was a game where it was like 2v2, he would probably also die there, because the old man not only has a brain tumor, which he was playing up, but he's a fucking old man, and Gi-hun, he's not like the most physically adroit dude either. But he lucks out because the old man just so happens to be the dude who orchestrated the games, and he basically gives him the win. And then he plays the glass game, and in the glass game, he he wants to go first, but then the dude, oh, I need to go first. It's probably another Min-soo. I need to go first because I've been a pussy my whole life. And then, you know, Gi-hun's like, I don't know, I want to go first and die. But he's like, nah, you're the main character. And then he goes first, and you know, that guy dies, and he even looks at Gi-hun. He's like, bro, why didn't you go first? And Gi-hun's like, I'm the main character. And then whenever Sang-woo pushes the glassmaker guy, which was shocking, it was fucking crazy, Gi-hun has the audacity to lecture him about his morality. He's like, why would you do that? What's wrong with you? And Sang-woo rightfully tells him, bro, you got fucking lucky. You chose the last one. And if I didn't push him, you would have died too. And then Gi-hun, he asked the dumbest fucking question ever. He's like, well, what would you do if it was me? and Sang-woo, he's literally, Sang-woo has my reaction. He's like, bro, you are so fucking stupid. But then Gi-hun, he kind of cooks with the response. He's like, oh, well, if I'm so stupid, how are you in here with me? They're in there for different reasons, but they both did dumb things. But yeah, he plays the Squid Game. He wins that. He has a good strategy throwing the sand in Sang-woo's eyes. So that was pretty good. But oh yeah, he's about to win the game, but he's like, nah, let's just terminate it. It's like, bro, you are not made for these games. You're in debt. Your daughter is, I didn't mention that, but your daughter is moving away to America, and you may never see her again if you're not able to get your finances in order, which is a huge reason why you're going into the games in the first place. Your mother is dying of diabetes, and you need to be able to pay for her treatment. The reason why she didn't get treatment is because, you know, she couldn't pay for it because you probably gambled away all of her fucking money. And you just want to go home empty-handed? And when you know the severity of Sang-woo's debt as well, or Sang-woo, you know the severity of his debt, you just want to go home? Sang-woo, he sees this, and he literally has to kill himself. Because he knows that Gi-hun is going to do the dumbest fucking thing imaginable. And so now you have this gambling addict who now actually won at gambling, has all the resources in the world, has huge, immense amounts of trauma, and he has his gambling psychology reinforced by the fact that 455 people fucking died. And he's the only one who made, so he has to feel special. He has to feel like he is the one. And you have this gambling addict who has his gambling addiction reinforced by his winning of the game. He's severely traumatized because he just watched a lot of people that he got close with fucking die. He's incredibly childish even before the game starts. And now, you know, he won the game and he has all this money, he has all this power. And he goes into the second season thinking that he can do anything to these people that orchestrate the game, and time again he's just outclassed again and again and again. He lucks out again whenever he does the Russian roulette with the recruiter, who knew that he was searching for him, by the way. He had the invitation to give to him so that he could walk into the Frontman's trap, but that's a whole other thing. But yeah, he plays Russian roulette with this fucking recruiter, which to me just shows that he is suicidal. You're genuinely suicidal, and you're a huge gambling addict, and you probably have survivor skill, and like he's just so mentally fucked. And he somehow lucks out and wins that game. The recruiter, instead of, you know, even if the recruiter like lost, which, you know, the recruiter lost and he kills himself, like how he said to Gi-hun, he could have just, you know, turned the gun on Gi-hun and killed him anyways. I would assume that Gi-hun probably had his gun on him, or at least proximal to him, because I mean he just always carries around the Glicky, but I guess he didn't for whatever, I don't fucking know. He gets lucky in Russian roulette, and then he has this plan to go into the, there's so, I don't want to make the video too long, we're already at 33 minutes, but like there's so much dumb shit that this guy does, but it's so in line with his character. We want to root for him because we see him like play with cats and he's like super optimistic and he's fucking smiling and he's like kind of goofy, and you know he seems like the apex of morality to, you know, people who aren't paying too close attention. But you dive into this dude's character and he's a gambling addict and he's one of the dumbest fucking characters I've ever seen in my entire life. And for that, I feel like he's incredibly well written. Time and time again, we're shown that he's literally just a guy who got lucky. He has no fucking clue what he's doing. S tier character. Next character is MG Coin. I think that this guy is kind of interesting because he's kind of like, I'll put him above Min-soo but below Nam-gyu. He's kind of like, how do I explain this? He's kind of like Min-soo in the sense where like he's not the biggest guy. There are a lot of people that like hate him because, you know, some of the people that are in the games got scammed by him via MG coin. But he like stands up for himself. He's always doubling down. He doubles down whenever he gets pulled up on by Thanos and Nam-gyu. He's like, okay, well, you were the ones who decided to invest in the coin. It's your responsibility. Take responsibility for being a fucking dumbass. He doubles down whenever he's in the room. And what's her name? I forget her name, but I want to go home. He doubles down whenever she dies. She can't get in because, you know, he gets in last second. It says that, you know, he actually makes a good point. In the heat of the moment when he's super stressed and everybody's looking at him like he's fucking crazy, and player 120, who she's like, you know, obviously, you know, she's a she, but she's like pretty tall, so she's physically imposing. You know, he makes a good point, like, yo, if I didn't save you, you all would have fucking died. Yeah, he's just I like how he stands up for himself. He, you know, he forks Thanos in the bathroom. He doesn't just sit there and die like a little bitch. Something that's interesting about his character is that he plans to, he has the, you know, his baby mama. He plans to consolidate their funds and reinvest them into the stock market when, you know, his investments are the reason why he got in the Squid Games. So like, this guy, he's low key, I don't want to say he's as bad as Gi-hun, but like he has the same mentality. And I think it's funny that like, oh, whenever we get back in the games, we're going to do exactly what we did to get back in the games. So yeah, that was funny. Okay, I'm back. The next guy is Dae-ho, the I don't even know his name, I just know him as Dae-ho, the GOAT. Now, where do I put this guy? I'm feeling, okay, yeah, I feel confident in this. He's top of A tier. And the reason why he's top of A tier is because he is pretty integral to the plot. He does give me like a here we go. Yeah, let's check one. He's decently well written. It's pretty ambiguous whether or not he was just lying or if he has PTSD. Me personally, I think that he's probably just lying. But that's another video. He contributes to the story by selling. We think that he's a Marine? We think that he's a Korean Marine, but we find out that he's a bit of a, I don't want to say he's a pussy because he still went into battle, but I mean, he's obviously not cut out for that kind of lifestyle, whether it be because one, he was lying, or two, because he has PTSD. And because he didn't return with the ammo, I mean, granted, they were probably going to die anyways, but, oh yeah, especially with the Frontman's betrayal, they were definitely going to die, but they would have lasted a lot longer. Or they could have lasted a lot longer had he brought the ammo, but he decided to chicken out and he stays alive as a result. Do they make you feel something? Yeah, I think it was super cool to find this guy in the at the beginning where he simps to Gi-hun's team. He's like, oh, you're the previous winner. I love previous winners. I want to win. And then Jung-bae, he's like, oh, you're a Marine? I'm a Marine too. And they have that camaraderie, and it really seems like he's part of the team. No homo. He also looks pretty good as well. But I mean, I think it's funny that like this guy, he was exceptionally good at the, I don't know what it's called, but it's the girl game. And he also has like, you know, the longer hair. Like, to me, it just seems like this guy is like he's a lot more feminine. He's like the antithesis of player 120. He's a guy. He looks decently strong, but like he's a lot more in his feminine and not terribly masculine. He tries to overcompensate with the Marine stuff, so much so that he got a tattoo. But I don't know. I don't really have a ton to say about him. I just say he's probably high A tier. I liked him a fair amount, even with the lying. Now, 246. Excuse me, I'm sick. 246. This guy, he doesn't really do anything. Probably just gonna put him with his daughter. Probably put him above, this guy because we actually see him do shit. Well, maybe I don't know, because this guy has this moment where he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna kill all the O's." This guy, he's just kind of there the whole time, and he's the knight in shining armor for the Park Young-sik and his old mother. I don't think he progressed the plot a ton. He's more like a heavy season 3 plant character. I probably have to put him above B Girl because he just has more scenes and he's a little more integral to the plot. He technically go above this guy, but I don't know. I didn't feel anything for this guy. Next, we have the Rainbow Six Siege operator. D tier. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, probably low S tier if I'm being honest. Let's pull out our criterias again. Decently well written, yeah. They contributed a lot to the story. She really did make you feel something, and I did like her personally. Now, at the beginning, I thought it was incredibly stupid how all the players were just passing her up as like, oh, well, I guess they're like super conservative about that stuff in South Korea, so that's probably why. But in the first game, everybody saw her go up to Gi-hun and help her save that player that got eliminated, but they didn't fully kill him because they were gonna harvest his fucking organs. Everybody saw her save him and bring him all the way back to the or all the way to the end of the finish line, red light, green light. So that was incredibly heroic. She's incredibly, I mean, obviously she's still transitioning, but from when she was a man, she's incredibly like tall and she looks pretty fucking strong. And that's generally what you would want to have. You want to have somebody who's tall and somebody who's strong, and it's a good diversification in the six-legged race game because she was probably raised as a guy, but she's transitioning into a woman, and so she's probably fairly adroit in both male games and female games. So she's strong, she's imposing, she is probably familiar with female and male played games. She seems pretty like able. Like, I don't know why anybody would pass up on her in the second game other than just bigotry. And I guess that's the kicker. Like, when you are bigoted, when you are, I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like I'm the most like woke guy, but when you have like prejudice, it blinds you from literally free opportunities. She completely carried her team in the six-legged race. She helped I don't want to die, honey. She helped her out in the first game by giving her the secret tech. She Park Young-sik and his mother, they kind of helped each other out. That was pretty cool. But then when the shaman was about to sell, she was like, you figure this out or I'll kill you before your gods do. She slapped her twice and she helped her locked in. So that was like crucial. And then she cleared her game on the first try, and their win was so, like, the comeback was so great. She even had the front man. She had the front man. Where is the front man? The fuck? Did I already rate him? Oh no, here he is. She even had the front man, like geeking out, like he was a real player. So yeah, definitely. That's not even it. What else did she do? I don't know why she wanted to be in Gi-hun's rebellion. I thought that, like, anybody who took part of that plan, I feel like that was a really fucking stupid plan. Yeah, I don't know what they were thinking. I don't know, but they thought they were only like a limited amount of guards in this place where they're offering you 45.6 billion won. Like they just don't have sufficient resources to have a huge group of armed forces. Like I don't know what she was thinking there, but she was literally like a Rainbow Six Siege operator. She was fucking peeking. She was destroying cameras. She was doming the guys. She was I'm pretty sure she was a sergeant whenever she was in the military, which, I mean, that checks out. But like, even then, like, she was fucking like so tactically adroit. It was crazy to watch. And she goes back to find Dae-ho, just selling. She's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? She gets the mags. She doesn't really do that. She just gets the mags because she's so locked in. But then it's already too late. She sees all the guards coming in, and she's ready to just mow everybody down. She's ready to go out on the fucking, like, she's literally, like all the way from the beginning. I mean, when I first saw her, I could kind of tell that it's gonna be like, oh, okay, this is okay, we have a trans woman, and they're probably gonna do some God, I don't want to say DEI shit, but like, I felt like they were gonna try to like, oh no, she's a, you know, she's more than what she looks like, but and they did do that, but I feel like they executed it incredibly well. Everything she did and said made perfect sense, and she's just like a full blown leader. Had she had more screen time, I could easily see her being above Gi-hun, but she kind of loses points for taking part of that dumbass rebellion. I guess maybe she wanted to, she probably wanted to avenge, the, oh, I don't want to die. She probably wanted to avenge her because she was pretty shaken up about her death. So I guess maybe that makes sense. Which would, I don't know. We just don't have enough of her. Gi-hun, I feel like she's probably, if I had to guess, she's probably a better person than Gi-hun. Because, this dude's a fucking deadbeat gambler loser who, just got super lucky and now he has the power to be as big of a loser as he wants to be. But I don't know. I'm just not terribly comfortable with her yet. Well, I mean, I am comfortable with her, but it's like we've only seen her for what feels like only 3/4 of a season. We'll have to see how she comes through in season 3. Next, we have the Salesman. I'm gonna have to put him as an S tier character. Excuse me. He's more like the less that is like revealed about him, the more that you can kind of fill in. And his character, like a lot of his character's context could be parsed via the guards and their general behavior. Along with the story he gives during Russian roulette. He says that, for one, we can just, there's so many, okay. For one, we can analyze his job. He literally recruits people to these fucking death games, and he spends his time playing dachi and slapping the fuck out of people literally all day, or however long. He's probably like a seasonal recruiter or whatever, but he just slaps the fuck out of people, which is already incredibly sadistic. In fact, when he's doing it with Gi-hun, something that was interesting to me when I first saw it back in 2021 is that he baits a slap, and it's small, but like if you notice it, he gets pleasure out of seeing Gi-hun flinch, and then he actually slaps him. And so we can already tell that he's incredibly sadistic. Like he enjoys this job. So there's that. And whenever they're stalking him on his off time, he's not even working. He does the bread or lottery thing that, people are fucking replicating in real life. Evil shit. You cannot be redeemed. But yeah, he does that shit. If they choose the lottery, they'll probably lose. He takes his coin back and then he stomps the bread out in front of them, which, that's super terrible. And then he justifies it by saying, oh, well, I didn't waste this bread. You did. And it's like a botched, bitch made, pussy mini Squid Games. And he does it to feel better about himself for what he told Gi-hun. He says that he felt like a complete loser essentially. Then he was recruited by the games, and for a while he was a circle, basically doing nothing, telling people to go places without knowing where they were supposed to go. He didn't say that explicitly, but he was just kind of like a loser, circle guard. But then they gave him a gun, and he started to lock in. Eventually, he gets into a Squid Game, and he's a guard, and his dad's in the fucking game. And his dad's like begging him, like, please don't eliminate me. He lost or something. She's please don't eliminate me. And I guess he got the ick and he killed his own dad. And from there he was like, okay, well, that's when I knew I was perfect for this job, which is pretty fucked up. And he also plays he issues a game with what are their names, Mr. Kim and his little lackey. He issues a game where they have to play Russian roulette, and he even shoots himself with the first bullet. So like this dude he's like completely unhinged. He's probably somewhat suicidal. If I had to guess, I mean, he's definitely evil, but he's probably the type of evil to where like he's not like innately evil. He just kind of like one bad thing led to another, and then whenever he got the gun, he felt important for once in his life, like he said. And then he has his father begging before him, like, please don't kill me. He kills his father, and like obviously if you kill your father, even if your father is like evil or whatever, which I doubt his father was probably just like bad towards him. If you kill your father, you're obviously going to have some kind of moral reservation about that. And it's easier to reconcile that by saying that you're just exceptionally competent rather than coming to terms with the fact that, you just murdered your own father to, essentially get a promotion. And so I think he kind of ran with that pathology. And that's why he feels the need to, what's it called? That's why he feels the need to, dress up in this suit and be super, super, I don't want to say flashy, but like look super put together. But that's why he feels the need to do that shit with the homeless people and, be unhinged because I mean he is unhinged. He's always been unhinged and he's trying to keep it together. And I think that him playing Russian roulette with Gi-hun is kind of like it like he wins either way. He gets to converse with Gi-hun and basically call him like trash and a loser, which Gi-hun is a trash loser. And it'd also be like super funny if like he calls Gi-hun trash, like, oh, you're dog shit at Nachi, and then he kills himself with the revolver. Or Gi-hun, he cheats and he kills him and he's put out of his misery. Or he kills himself and he can appear honorable and he can basically, like I don't want to say atone. It's not like he was trying to redeem himself, but like he probably deep down felt some kind of guilt, and his way to cope with it was just being the worst person possible. So yeah, S tier. He was only in like 2 episodes, or technically 3. But I feel like he left a really lasting impression, and I was genuinely sad to see him go. Even though like the song he played, it was like, oh, time to say goodbye. I knew he was gonna die, but yeah, that still sucked cock. Anyways. Come on. Yeah. Yeah, I'll put him there. In-ho, Young-il, whatever you want to call him, the front man. He's definitely S tier. I want to say he's the best character only because like he's like what a winner is supposed to be, but then you can also tell that he's kind of like struggling morally because he seems like a really good guy. He was super loyal to his wife. His wife was kind of fucking stupid. I understand why she did it. Like obviously when it comes to like abortions, that's never like that will never be an easy thing to get, even if you're like I don't know how to explain, but like an abortion is never like an easy thing. And she's facing health complications, but she's pregnant. But she's super steadfast on wanting to have the kid, and beat whatever bullshit is happening to her. And so In-ho, he gave his kidney to his little stepbrother. It's not even his full brother. He gave his kidney to his little stepbrother. I assume to save his life, which was super, like this guy, for all intents and purposes, he started out as like a great person, and he's like a police officer. He wants to save his wife, so he takes a shady bribe and it gets exposed, and then he loses his job. He can't sell his kidney or any other major organs because he already gave it to his little brother. So he joins the Squid Game, and he's kind of like what's his name? Where is he? The 246 guy, in the sense to where he's not in the game because he's like terrible with money or like he made like bad decisions. Like he just kind of got fucked over. Which kind of like, if you're a gambler, I guess that's also like an archetype that could make you good at the games, but like it's a lot like he's just not like the other girls. Essentially, he's different, and he joins the games, he wins, and in order to win these games, you're probably going to have like some level of intelligence. You got to be somewhat extroverted. You have to be like incredibly strategical. You probably have to be a little bit cunning and deceptive. You have to be physically strong, which we see whenever he 2v1s Nam-gyu and Thanos. Like you have to have like a lot of great, well, I don't want to say great, but you got to have like very particular traits in order to come out on top. And he's pretty much like the yin to Gi-hun's yang. If Gi-hun is like completely luck, the front man is like he's like 99% skill. And obviously you have to get lucky if you want to win the games, but he won his game. I forget exactly what the timeline is, but he won his game and his wife, even though he had the money, he couldn't save her, which was probably incredibly depressing. So he won the game. He saw 455 people die. He got cut from his job that he probably spent a lot. Yeah, he had like a picture with him like with like a ton of metal. So he was probably really good at his job. He got cut from his job, so he's alienated from his job. He's alienated from his little stepbrother because he couldn't sell his kidney to maybe get the money that he needed to save his wife sooner. So he probably has some resentment there. What else? I don't know. He's a very complex character. You can kind of tell throughout the series that he wants to make a point in front of Gi-hun. I'm not sure exactly what point it is, but I think he's trying to say that it's better to like try to work within the system and make it as fair as possible rather than trying to tear it up completely, basically calling Gi-hun's view like childish, and he trolls him throughout the games. But I really like this character. I love his poker face. You absolutely never have any idea what he's thinking, like, at all. And I think that the actor, I think his name is Lee Byung-hun. Like, I mean, that's just his natural face, but he really plays this character super perfectly. And every time he's on screen, he always steals the scene, even though we know he's the front man. Sometimes, like, you even forget, and I don't know. He's just perfect. I love him. S tier. This guy. Okay. I'm probably gonna have to put him probably just one above MG Coin. Now, I fucking hate this guy. And here's why. If I'm not mistaken, he lies to his mother that his debt is like 60 or 70,000. Cool, I get it. Your mom, she's probably like super overbearing, and she's probably like super mean to you or whatever. And like it's not easy to have a mother like that. It's super, like, it fucks with your confidence. It fucks with your ability to make decisions. You kind of like become like a bit of a pussy, like this guy is. I get it. But then what's so fucked up to me is that they complete the second game and they're like, all right, let's go home. They're all talking about going home. He's like, yeah, we'll go home. But he chooses circle instead of X, and he wasn't the sole decider, but it's such a stupid way to rebel, because he goes to his mother and he tells her, oh, well, my debt was actually 100,000 won, not 100,000, or I don't know. It was something like that, 100 million or whatever. And they would both get 75 million won. So if they combine their won, they'd have 150 million, which would be able to pay off his debts. And it would also be enough to maybe, I don't know, get back on their feet or whatever the fuck they had to do. So this guy, he's so like gooned, or whatever gooning is to gambling, the gooning version of gambling. He's so gooned out of his mind that he's willing to gamble his mother's life for, I mean, it is a huge payout, but he's willing to gamble his mother's life for another game, when in the second game, since he had to be with his mom, they were looked down upon. They had to go on the fucking outcast team. No offense to 120, but they had to go to the fucking outcast team. Nobody wanted to be on their team. And everybody thinks that they're weak, and they are weak. They are not built for these games, and they should have left. But this guy, he's like, oh, I needed more money, and he puts his mom's life at risk, and his mom literally almost dies in the next game. She's literally only saved by the front man and Gi-hun. The front man even says like, oh, your son just leave you? And she's in his mom's in the mouth. She's like, no, Sik is a good person. He's a good person. He would never do that. But yeah, this guy's a pussy. Definitely an A tier character, because I mean, it's like, if you've ever played Telltale's The Walking Dead, there's always the fuck up character, like Ben or Gabe or who else was there? Tennessee. Like there's always gonna be the fuck up character, and this is the fuck up character of this season. I understand why you rebelled. You have to assert your agency to gain some kind of confidence so that you can navigate the world without having to rely on your mom as a crutch. And kind of like, your mom is definitely a huge contributing factor to who you are, why you're such a big pussy. But that doesn't change the fact that, like, I know context matters, but you don't gamble your mom's life like that. That's so fucked up, especially when you have enough funds whenever you combine your money. So yeah, definitely. I'm putting him in A tier, higher than MG Coin, only because like he really makes you feel something. Like he really like fuck this guy. But yeah, just we'll put him in A tier. Next. Oh no, am I gonna do it? I don't think I can give her S tier. I don't think I can give her S tier because she raised such a bitch made son. But she's definitely top of A tier for me. I can't really think of anything off the top of my head, but she's just super cool. She doesn't fuck with the whole trans stuff with player 120, but she still respects her. I'm pretty sure she still says like, hey, she's coming with us. She can go to the restroom. She says like, hey, I can't like call you beautiful, but like you're all right. Like she's able to put her prejudice aside to respect player 120 after. Player 120 had to earn that respect via the six-legged race game, but she's able to put her prejudice aside to appreciate 120 for the I don't want to call her like a great person because I don't know her fucking full story or whatever, but like she's able to put her prejudice aside to progress through the games, and that's more than what other people have done. She also, I don't know, it's just there's something so like it tugs at your heart in a different way when you know that she's somebody's mother, and she's literally only there not because she has that, but she's there for her son. And so it's like your elderly mom is there to clean up your fuck ups, which she probably contributed to making you into the fuck up that would fuck up in the first place. But it's still like incredibly endearing, and she scolds the fuck out of her. So like, what the fuck are you doing here? What the fuck are you doing here? Well, I'm here for your debt. She's kind of like funny like that. And she's small, but she gives off the impression that she's strong, even though she's obviously on the weaker side. And this is probably a biased placement, but I don't know. I love her. A tier. Next, we'll probably Jung-bae. I'll put him in low S tier, and here's why. He's obviously the super friendly sidekick character to Gi-hun, and he that's his main purpose is to just kind of develop Gi-hun's character. But I really liked how, because what he does is he brings Gi-hun back to his goofy smiling whenever the thing told him to smile, always making jokes, telling everybody that Sang-woo went to SNU business school and graduated at the top of it. Like he's bringing Gi-hun back to his lovable self that we all came to root for in season 1. And he brings some good season 1 charm into this otherwise dark series where we have a bunch of super unlikable characters like this guy, Thanos, who else? Min-soo, MG Coin, Park Young-sik, Nam-gyu, Dae-ho, depending on what you think about him. Who else? Yeah, there's probably somebody else, but in a season of super unlikable characters, he's pretty refreshing. He brings the season 1 energy back. I love this scene where him and the Frontman are in the room, and he sees the Frontman fucking snap that dude's neck, and he's just like, "What the fuck?" And he wants to tell other people, but he can't. Or I mean, he can, but he chooses not to, and then he dies before he's ever able to, tell him. He goes along with Gi-hun's dumbass rebellion, but he's literally just a ride or die friend, and he's just a cool guy. Not really much else to be said. A tier or low S tier. Jesus, this girl, I'm not gonna lie. She's no, I'm kidding. She's probably, she progresses the plot, but like. No. Okay, I'll probably put her right here because she does progress the plot, which is why she goes above. I'm probably gonna have to. I don't know. This is a good spot for her. Yeah, but she progresses the plot in the sense that she uses her shamanism to, if that's even a word, to get what's her name, the whatever woman changed her vote from the X to the circle, she develops that plot point, which causes a tie, and she casts like a death spell or like a bad omen onto the mother and Young-sik. So I mean, we're probably gonna see more of what she actually does in season 3, but she's kind of like a Minsu character, in the sense that where like she's super bitch made. And I'm not saying that because she's a woman. I'm saying that because she's a fucking pussy. They go in the 6-legged race game, and she's so incredibly pretentious about her gods, and how like, oh, you'd be a fool to pass up on me. They're seeing other people play the games, and it's not as easy as it looks, and so their team, they're like, hey, you've done this, you've played these games before, right? Like you've played these games before. She's they're asking her like, hey, you have experience, and she's like, oh, shut the fuck up, the gods, blah 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 blah. And I'm pretty sure the mom, she literally calls her like a whore or something. Like, this whore isn't really talking to us like that, is she? But anyways, whatever, she's confident. You can be a dickhead if you're competent, or you can get away with it, I guess. They get to the spinning tile game, or the spinning top game, and she doesn't know how to fucking, she's rapping it the wrong way. She's getting, I mean, granted there was blood on the floor and that's pretty fucking scary, but like she gets to the point to where she gives up, and she just, oh, the gods have abandoned us. She goes against all of what she believes because she keeps fucking up, and it takes 120 to smack her and tell her to lock the fuck in order for her to do what she did. And then for a fact that she attributed that win to the gods. Like, oh yeah, the gods saved us, no, 120 saved you. She's like the religious guy from last season, but I think she's actually worse. I don't know how she's worse, but she just feels worse. But yeah, she's a super annoying character. She does progress the plot because she convinces that other person to vote blue, but she's just like, I don't know. I hate characters that like you have so much ego and so little to show for it, and then like the few situations where you have to lock in, you just crumble, and then you go against all what you believe, and I don't know, you're just a pussy. Anyways, this girl, I super love her picture. It looks so like menacing, like she's gonna peg you or something. I'll give her, she above Minsu. I don't know. Does she progress the plot? Yeah, not really. Yeah, I'll probably put it right here. I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't paying too close attention to her scenes, but she's basically like I feel like she's just there to develop MG coin, and oh, she's pregnant, and oh yeah, that too, she's pregnant, but she goes in these games to get money to raise the kid. Like, there has to be, she probably has some kind of debt, if I had to guess. I mean, you probably wouldn't go into the games otherwise, but you're like, what, 6 or 7 months pregnant? Like, she's noticeably pregnant to the point to where she's like, she has to lean on the mom in red light, green light, and she if she couldn't do that, she probably would have gotten fucking eliminated. There's so many, like, she's going in a super dangerous place, even though she's pregnant, which is crazy to me. Granted, she probably didn't know that it was like a death game, but it's still kind of wild. Like, there are probably other things that you can do, if I had to guess, if you're a pregnant single mom. And I don't know, there's just so many things like wrong with this character in my opinion. But she does progress the plot in terms of MG coin. She brings MG coin to his senses, and he's like, oh fuck, I gotta vote X so that I can steal her money and reinvest our finances in the futures, and pull a Song Woo and end up in Squid Game 2025. But yeah, she's all right. I like seeing her on screen, but she's not like terribly great or anything. Now this girl, I have no fucking clue who this is. I'll just put her D tier. This guy, the watered down frontman, we're probably gonna see more of him in season 3. He's just kind of like, we just see him like kind of like lose frame whenever like the rebellions. He's like, oh, don't let them get to the main office, and he looks kind of scared there, and he's like, oh, to the North Korean defector, he's like, oh, I can't protect you. You know, the guards are gonna rape you if you keep interfering with the organ harvesting. And we also see that he recruited her whenever she was at her lowest point. I think she was gonna like kill herself or something. So he kind of adds on to her story and his story, but I don't know. There just wasn't enough of him. He kind of has the B-girl problem. Like I want them to be cool, but you just don't have enough screen time. And when we do see you, like you're either fucking dying or you're being like a bit of a pussy. So I'll probably have to give him. Yeah, I'll put him right there. Now, Jun-ho, I think that's his name, the cop guy. He's super cool. I super liked last season how he was able to systematically infiltrate the island, and we see him go from the circle to the triangle, and then he goes to the fucking square, and he's like, "Yo, you listen to me now. You're not supposed to speak unless you were spoken to." When it was the first thing he heard, and he eventually finds out that his brother won the games, and he's trying to forward all the crazy shit that happened to him, like the organ harvesting, the people getting executed, the VIPs, and him almost getting molested by a VIP. He's trying to send that shit on the remote island, but then the guys that catch up to him, he shoots the frontman. The frontman's like, "Chill, he's my brother," or he doesn't say that, but he's like, "Chill, I got this." He takes off his mask, he puts his hand out, and you see the shock on his face, the pure realization. He's like, why? You could hear it in his voice, and it goes so hard, it echoes in the front man's mind. It gives him that hope that he could potentially redeem himself despite the evil shit he's doing. So, oh yeah, but this season he sucked cock. He was just kind of, he withheld the information that the front man was his brother to Gi-hun. There's probably like a valid reason why he did it, but I think that was pretty gay. And he didn't really do much except, oh, we gotta find the island, but they never found the island, and they keep searching for 2 years. Oh, we gotta find the island. Oh, look, this is the island. Wait, no, this isn't the island. Oh no, our guys died. We gotta find the island. There's a mole. That too, there's a mole. And maybe I wasn't paying attention, but I watched the thing in the Korean language, so I was reading the fucking subtitles. I don't recall them ever interrogating anybody thoroughly for being the mole, when I feel like if you were to just like take 30 minutes to kind of deduce things, the main suspects would probably, you would probably do some kind of a background check on all the guys that you hired, coupled with just like the suspiciousness of their circumstances, and you'd be able to pretty easily deduce that this guy, he just serendipitously finds you in a random fucking location at a random island that he's been sailing the seas for 30 years, but he somehow never come across his island, but he just so happens to be proximal enough to the location where you're shot at to save your life and give you emergency services and nurse you back to health, and he just does it for free, and he's fucking taking you to all these islands and places for free. Like, I know that in Korea there's probably some kind of like different honor system, and that probably blinded him from suspecting the captain in the first place, but I feel like he loses some points for not being able to even suspect that the captain is behind the leaking of the information, when it's kind of like what are the chances of you being found? And you saw that the front man was your brother, and that he's the head of this super crazy organization where they're, billionaires who literally use people as human furniture and watch people die for fun. And you think your brother doesn't have the resources to send somebody to save your ass when he literally gave his kidney to save you. So, he definitely loses some points for that, but I feel like it'd be too disrespectful to put him in the A tier. So I'll just put him low S tier. For now. He's probably going to come back in season 3. If I had to guess, he's probably going to die, and that's going to make the front man be like, oh shit, I got to change my morality, and then he's going to redeem himself. But yeah, low S tier. Now, we have the captain. Now, I actually kind of fucked with this character, if I'm being honest, because he's probably like halfway through the boat scenes. I figured out that he was the mole, because I was like, wait, Yeah, it is kind of weird how he's been sailing the seas for 30 years, and they've been sailing the seas together for 2 years, but they can't find the island. And he just so happened to be there to pick Jun-ho up whenever he got shot off, and he's been doing this all for free. That is kind of weird. And then there's somebody leaking the information. The other mercenaries look super sus too, but it looks like they're mainly in it for the money. But this dude isn't really getting paid, and he's like way too down to do this mission because like. I don't know. I couldn't deduce it 100%, but if you put a gun to my head and you told me to pick who the mole was, I would 100% pick this guy with like 60% confidence. And so I thought he was super cool. I love the drone drong. I don't know what the fuck a drong is. I feel like that was also a dead giveaway. And then you see him dissecting the drone, probably to put a fucking tracking bullshit or to fucking destroy or whatever. But yeah, you see him dissecting the drone. The dude's like, bro, what the fuck are you doing? He's like, oh, I just thought it was cool, this drong. And then the guy's like, okay. And then, they're walking, and he's like, yeah, you should probably go back to sleep. But then the mercenary is like, what the fuck? Yo, who are you? And he's like, no, I'm just, and he fucking shanks the dude casually, and he throws him overboard, and he just pretends like nothing happens. Like, that's super sick to see. I'm probably gonna... I'll put him right here. I want to put him higher, but he just doesn't have enough scenes. He'll probably be cooler in season 3. Now, Mr. Kim, we'll do him first. He's goated. I'll probably put him like he's only in like 2 episodes, but he sacrifices himself to save. Oh, and by the way, I'm not gonna rate him yet. I knew he was gonna die, or one of these 2 guys were gonna die whenever he was like, oh yeah, I just officiated your wedding like last week. When I heard that, I knew one of these motherfuckers were gonna die, because like why are you mentioning that so explicitly? Like one of you guys are definitely fucked. But they played the game. The underling he lost, but Mr. Kim, he disqualified himself to save his underling, which was pretty admirable. I think that alone, does it progress the plot though? I think it does, because the underling wants to do whatever it takes to. I think we put Mr. Kim. He just doesn't have enough screen time, but it would be too disrespectful to put him in B tier. So I think we'll put him in low A tier. He's a loan shark, and he threatens to take people's fucking eyes and kidneys and fucking organs. And he licks Gi-hun's blood in the first episode. Like this dude is fucking unhinged, and he's the head of a loan shark company. So he's incredibly shady, incredibly unhinged, fucking disgusting weirdo. Just like all kinds of negative things. But it was super admirable of him to throw his life away to save, his employee. It shows that like even though this guy's he's in a fucked up field doing fucked up things, and he's probably a fucked up person, he still like can care for people. And that like the juxtaposition is so strong, it carries his character all the way up to A tier. So yeah, that was pretty cool. This guy, he's kind of like Gi-hun. I feel like maybe as dumb as Gi-hun. Granted, he was probably super close with Mr. Kim, which is why he's so adamant on wanting to. Let me place this guy. So instead of just yapping, he does progress this story a fair amount. Probably. Yeah, I'll probably put him. I'll put him right here. He's goofy. I kind of like him. I kind of fight with him. He's kind of dumb like you in the sense where he's like, oh well, I want to do this just to save Mr. Kim, when you could low key just like take the money and like fuck off and with your wife that you just got married to, rather than going on this unnecessarily dangerous mission with these supposed billionaires. And you like the first guy that you guys encountered, he's not even like a soldier, he's a recruiter. The first guy you guys encounter, you get 2v1 by him with a suitcase. You're out long enough for him to tie you up, and you have to play fucking Russian roulette, or a kind of Russian roulette, rock paper scissors -1 into Russian roulette, and you get destroyed. You're not cut out to fight these guys. But he's so blinded by the sacrifice that Mr. Kim gave for him. He's like, oh, I gotta find these people. When in reality, Mr. Kim would probably want you to just get the money and fuck off, and be with your wife instead of risking your life, like a dumbass. But he's super fun to watch. He's super incompetent. I like the comedic relief that he has, like especially whenever he knocks Jun-ho over the head, and he's like, "Oh, we've never met, but fuck that recruiter guy." That's pretty cool. What else about this character? He's just I don't know. He's a cool guy. He sells in the club scene where he gets tased by the guys. I mean, granted, like he probably, I don't know, like it's every time he takes an L, it's no surprise. But like, I don't know. He's just not cut out to do what he's doing. He's probably gonna pay the ultimate price. And he's gonna throw away the opportunity that Mr. Kim gave him. But fuck it, I love seeing him on screen. I hope he gets more screen time. I can't put him any higher because I don't know. He just doesn't really do anything else. And it is kind of evil that I have Min-soo and Young-sik above this goat, but he doesn't really do much aside from like be vehement and wanting to avenge Mr. Kim and take L's. So I can't really like. There's nothing interesting here. He's just fun to watch. But anyways, that's tier list. This video went on way longer than I thought it was going to go on for, but fuck it. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Leave a dislike if you didn't enjoy, and let me know what you guys think of the list. I think that this is, I mean, obviously, like these people can kind of like change tiers a little bit depending on how you connect with the characters, but this is pretty much objectively the correct tier list, and any other placing the characters is completely incorrect. So let me know what you guys think. Peace.